Riding beyond limits. The unlikely journey of Emma and Storm. The sound of tires screeching fills the air, followed by the sickening thud of metal meeting bone. A life, one full of potential, hope, and dreams, was forever changed in the blink of an eye. Emma, a vibrant, adventurous young woman, was now lying in a hospital bed, her once strong body broken, unable to move. The world outside continues to turn, but for Emma, everything has come to a standstill. Her once active lifestyle, her love for horses, all seem like distant memories. In her wheelchair, she stares out the window, the weight of the silence pressing in on her. She's no longer the person she was. But little does she know, the journey ahead will teach her that her spirit is far from broken. Each day feels like a battle. Emma's heart is heavy with the constant reminder of what she's lost. Her body may be confined, but it's her heart and mind that ache the most. The horses she once rode, the fields she ran through, the freedom she once felt. They seem so far out of reach. Her hands tremble as she grips the edges of her wheelchair, wondering if she'll ever feel that connection with the world again. The world tells her she's fragile now, that her future is limited. But Emma doesn't know it yet. Her life is about to change forever. One evening, while watching children laughing as they ride horses at a nearby ranch, a flood of emotions washes over her. She feels the sting of longing, but it's more than just sadness. It's the undeniable pull of something she thought was lost forever: hope. Her fingers hover above her phone, her mind racing, when a thought stops her cold. Could a girl in a wheelchair ever ride a horse again? Could she ever ride again? As Emma watches a beautiful, wild stallion race across the pasture, something stirs inside her. Could this horse be the key to unlocking everything she thought was impossible? Could trust heal the wounds that seemed too deep to fix? It was a day like any other, with the sun casting a golden hue over the ranch, when Emma's life began its turn. She wasn't expecting anything different. Her gaze simply followed the horses in the distance, her heart aching as she watched them gallop freely. Then, as if fate had intervened, her eyes landed on him, the wild stallion known as Storm. His mane flew in the wind as he raced across the field, powerful and untamed. Something about him felt different to Emma. There was a fire in his eyes, a sense of freedom that mirrored what she once had, and what she desperately longed for again. Unbeknownst to her, this was the first moment of their shared journey. She wasn't sure what drew her to Storm, but there was a pull she couldn't ignore. Could this stallion, whose spirit seemed as wild as hers, be the answer to her unspoken prayers? As fate would have it, Emma's chance encounter with Storm wasn't an ordinary one. It wasn't the typical first meeting. No shy introductions or gentle interactions. Storm wasn't a docile, trained horse. He was a force of nature, wild and unpredictable. Yet when Emma was introduced to him, there was an undeniable connection that sparked in the air. Emma, though hesitant at first, reached out a hand, trembling, unsure of what would happen next. For a long moment, neither moved. And then, to her surprise, Storm nuzzled her hand gently, almost as if sensing her need for comfort. It was in that moment that Emma realized, this wild creature, so different from the horses she had known, might just be her way forward. She could see it in his eyes. He understood what it meant to be misunderstood, to be broken in ways others couldn't see. And perhaps, just like her, he had the potential to heal. That first meeting wasn't perfect. There were no grand gestures or miracles. Just two souls meeting, both broken in their own way. But for Emma, it was enough. The stallion's wildness, his strength, was both intimidating and inspiring. She began to see in Storm the possibility of something greater than just a horse. He could become her partner, her strength, her hope. With every gentle nudge, every gaze they shared, she felt the walls she'd built around her heart start to crumble. Could this horse, whose spirit seemed untamed by the world, be the one to teach her how to find freedom again? Could he show her the way back to the person she once was, and perhaps even more? Emma didn't know the answers yet, but one thing was clear. The storm had arrived, and so had her chance. The following weeks were a mixture of hope and frustration for Emma. Her encounters with Storm were filled with promise, but the path ahead was far from easy. The stallion, while gentle at times, still bore the traits of his wild nature. He wasn't accustomed to human contact, let alone forming a connection with someone in a wheelchair. Emma could feel the resistance in his movements, the way his muscles tensed when she approached him. She understood it wasn't just Storm who had trust to rebuild. It was her too. Every time she reached out to him, she questioned if this bond would ever truly form. The doubts crept in, whispering in the silence of the barn, telling her that maybe she wasn't strong enough to handle such a challenge. But despite the uncertainty, Emma kept coming back, trying again and again. She spent hours sitting quietly near Storm, her presence calm, offering him apples and carrots, waiting patiently as he cautiously approached her. There were days when she thought they would never get anywhere, but each small step forward, each time he let her touch his muzzle or gently nudge her hand, felt like a victory. Internally, Emma wrestled with her fears. Was she setting herself up for failure? Could she truly connect with a horse who had never known the kind of bond she wanted? The feeling of inadequacy was overwhelming at times. She wasn't sure if she was ready to face the possibility that perhaps this, like so many other dreams, was impossible. Her body may have been limited, but her mind, her spirit, they refused to accept defeat. Emma had spent her whole life proving others wrong, showing that no obstacle was too great to overcome. This time, the challenge was different, more personal. It wasn't just about conquering the physical world again. It was about healing the scars that ran deeper than the ones on her legs. She wanted to prove that trust, once broken, could be rebuilt. Meanwhile, Storm struggled with his own demons. His past, his wild instincts, his fear of people. These weren't things that could be undone in a single moment. He had been conditioned by nature to be wary of human touch, and Emma, as kind and persistent as she was, couldn't simply erase years of instinct. He didn't understand why she kept coming back, why she reached out to him with such vulnerability. Sometimes he would pull away, his body rigid, his eyes wide with caution. But there were small moments, glimmers of recognition, when he would nudge her hand or simply stand quietly beside her. It was then that Emma realized something profound. Building trust wasn't just about giving affection. It was about showing patience, persistence, and respect for the other's fears. She had to earn his trust, just as he had to earn hers. It was a two-way street, one that would take time, but every little progress they made, every inch closer they got to one another, was a testament to their shared willpower. One cold afternoon, as the wind howled outside, Emma sat by the stable door, her back to the wooden beams, watching Storm graze. She didn't try to approach him that day. Instead, she sat in quiet contemplation, breathing in the peace that surrounded her. And then, as though drawn by the quiet strength in her presence, Storm slowly walked over to her. He stopped a few feet away, his large brown eyes watching her cautiously, but there was something different in them this time. A kind of curiosity, a willingness to bridge the gap. Tentatively, Emma extended her hand, offering him a treat. Storm paused, inhaling the air, and after a long moment of hesitation, he moved closer. His breath was warm against her hand as he took the apple from her fingers, his muzzle brushing against her skin in a surprisingly gentle gesture. In that moment, something shifted. The weight of her fears lifted just slightly, and for the first time since the accident, Emma felt like she had found something worth fighting for. She had given everything she had, her time, her patience, her heart, and in return, Storm had begun to trust her. They had taken the first step toward building something incredible. As Emma gazed into Storm's eyes, she realized that this journey wasn't just about riding a horse. It was about rediscovering herself. It was about learning to trust again, to open her heart and soul to the possibility of healing. It would be a long road, full of ups and downs, but for the first time in a long while, Emma felt the spark of hope reigniting inside her. And with that realization, Emma knew that the greatest challenge of all wouldn't be riding again. It would be learning to trust herself, and to allow another creature, as wild and free as Storm, to guide her back to the freedom she once thought was lost forever. As weeks turned into months, Emma's commitment to building trust with Storm was tested time and time again. There were days when progress seemed almost impossible, and her patience was pushed to its limits. After every small breakthrough, there would be setbacks. Times when Storm pulled away, when he resisted her touch, or when his unpredictable behavior left Emma feeling disheartened. It was during one of these moments of frustration that Emma found herself standing in front of Storm's stall, her hand pressed against the wooden door, her eyes clouded with doubt. She wondered if she had been foolish to believe that this wild stallion could ever truly bond with her. Had she set herself up for heartbreak? Was this entire dream of riding again just another cruel reminder of what she had lost? For the first time since starting this journey, Emma felt herself on the edge of giving up. Her body and soul had been through so much already, and this new challenge, one that required her to let go of all her expectations and surrender to the process, felt overwhelming. She wasn't sure if she could handle another day of disappointment. But just as she was about to walk away, something unexpected happened. Storm, sensing her frustration, did something that left Emma speechless. He moved closer to the stall door, his hooves quiet against the dirt floor. For the first time, he didn't shy away from her presence. He didn't pull back or move to the far corner of the stall. Instead, he stood there, his gaze locked with hers, as if silently asking her to trust him, just as she had trusted him. Emma took a deep breath, her heart pounding in her chest. She extended her hand once more, not with the hope of gaining something in return, but simply with the desire to connect. She didn't expect an immediate reward. This time, she was ready to embrace the uncertainty. Her life had been full of challenges, but she had learned that nothing worthwhile ever came easily, and this was no different. To her surprise, Storm stepped forward, his warm breath grazing her palm, his eyes calm and trusting. He nuzzled her hand gently before licking her fingers, a silent gesture that sent a surge of warmth through Emma's chest. In that moment, she realized that this wasn't just about a horse or a girl in a wheelchair. It was about two beings, broken in different ways, coming together to heal. Emma understood something crucial in that moment. The process of healing, whether physical, emotional, or relational, couldn't be rushed. She had spent so much of her life trying to control everything around her, trying to fix what had been broken. But in her quest for healing, she had overlooked one important truth. Sometimes the greatest strength lies in surrendering to the process, allowing time, trust, and patience to lead the way. She had spent years fighting her own limitations, but now, with Storm, she learned that the only way forward was to let go. Letting go of the need for immediate results, letting go of the pressure to succeed, and trusting that the bond they shared, however fragile, was something worth nurturing, regardless of how long it took. As Emma continued to work with Storm, she stopped focusing so much on the end goal of riding him again. Instead, she began to appreciate the small moments of connection. Storm's gentle nuzzle, his soft wicker of recognition, the way he moved closer to her each day. Every step forward, no matter how small, felt like a victory. The days blurred together as Emma's bond with Storm deepened. She came to the stable every day, not with the expectation of an immediate breakthrough, but with the quiet hope that today might be a good day, a step closer to the connection they both needed. And as time passed, she realized that her greatest challenge wasn't physical. It was emotional. She had to allow herself the space to trust the process, to be kind to herself when the journey didn't unfold according to her plans. The process of healing and growth, Emma learned, was unpredictable. There would be setbacks and triumphs, moments of doubt and moments of clarity, but each step, each failure and success, was a part of the journey. And as she trusted the process, she found herself growing stronger not only in her connection with Storm but also in her belief in herself. The turning point came one quiet evening when Emma sat beside Storm in the stable, her hands resting on his back as he grazed. For the first time, she felt a profound sense of peace. It wasn't the peace of perfection or completion. It was the peace of knowing that the process itself was the lesson. In her wheelchair, Emma had often felt like a spectator in her own life, watching the world pass her by. But with Storm, she realized that she was no longer just an observer. She was a participant in the journey of healing, of trust, and of transformation. She wasn't trying to reclaim the life she had lost. She was building something new, one step at a time. As Storm nuzzled her gently, Emma realized that the true meaning of healing wasn't in the destination. It was in the trust that she had learned to place in herself, in Storm, and in the journey ahead. She had learned to let go, to trust the process, and in doing so, she had found something even greater than she had ever imagined. A connection that transcended the barriers of her wheelchair, her past, and her fears. In the early days of training, Emma keeps the sessions simple and consistent. She spends time with Storm every day, sitting quietly beside his stall, allowing him to get used to her presence. She speaks softly to him, gently reaching out to touch his coat, learning the rhythm of his movements and his subtle signals. At first, Storm remains cautious, wary of Emma's wheelchair, but Emma never rushes the process. She knows that trust isn't built overnight. Each interaction is a step forward, slow and steady. Emma doesn't just see Storm as a horse she needs to train. She sees him as a partner who has his own fears and needs. In return, Storm begins to show signs of recognition. His ears twitch when he hears her voice, and his body relaxes slightly when she approaches. Emma feels a spark of hope each time he responds, knowing that trust is beginning to form between them. After several weeks of building trust, Emma and Storm begin working on basic groundwork. Emma starts by teaching Storm simple commands, guiding him with her hands and voice. The first time Storm responds to a command, turning his head toward her or taking a step forward, is a small but significant victory. Emma's heart swells with pride, and her belief in their potential grows stronger. Storm's responses are still cautious at first, but each success, no matter how small, is celebrated. Emma's confidence as a rider begins to rebuild. For the first time since the accident, she feels a glimmer of the freedom and control she had once taken for granted. With each successful moment, the bond between them deepens, and Emma starts to see the strength she once thought was lost. As the weeks pass, the connection between Emma and Storm grows. Emma can feel the shift in him. His once tense muscles now relax when she approaches, and he responds to her commands with greater ease. Their silent communication improves, and Emma begins to understand his moods and gestures more intuitively. The bond they share becomes something unspoken, a partnership that transcends words. For Emma, it feels like a miracle to witness Storm's progress, but also her own. With every step they take together, she feels more like the person she was before the accident, strong, confident, and capable. She starts to believe in the impossible once again, and the idea that she and Storm can face anything together becomes a reality she holds close to her heart. The horse that had once seemed untamable now stands ready to trust her completely. The impossible journey they have started is beginning to feel like something achievable, and Emma's belief in their bond grows stronger every day. The day of the grand showcase has finally arrived, and Emma can hardly contain her excitement. The months of training, the small victories, and the countless hours spent with Storm have all led to this moment. The arena is packed, filled with spectators eager to witness a unique performance. Emma sits in her wheelchair at the edge of the arena, her heart racing. But as she looks at Storm, standing proudly next to her, she feels an overwhelming sense of calm. This is the moment they've worked toward together, and she knows they are ready. As the announcer's voice echoes across the arena, introducing their performance, Emma and Storm prepare to step into the spotlight. The crowd falls into a hushed silence, their attention fixed on the pair. With a deep breath, Emma wheels herself toward the center of the arena, where Storm stands waiting. His eyes are soft, and his body remains still, a clear sign of the trust they've built over the last few months. As the routine begins, Emma's confidence radiates. The music plays softly in the background as she guides Storm through each movement, starting with a gentle walk around the arena. The crowd watches in awe as Emma and Storm move together with perfect synchronization, as if they have been performing together for years. The powerful stallion's movements are fluid, graceful, and precise, responding to Emma's every subtle command. They glide through the arena, seamlessly transitioning from one movement to the next. The crowd, initially unsure of what to expect, is soon captivated by the sight of this extraordinary partnership. Emma's eyes are focused, but there is a hint of joy in her expression. For her, this isn't just a performance. It's the culmination of everything she's worked for, a testament to her strength, perseverance, and belief in the impossible. As the routine progresses, Emma signals Storm to move into a trot. His stride lengthens, his energy building, but his movements remain smooth and controlled. Together, they perform intricate turns and transitions, defying all expectations. The audience is spellbound as they witness a wheelchair-bound rider guiding a wild stallion with a level of precision and elegance that seems beyond belief. Then comes the moment that leaves everyone breathless. Emma signals Storm to move into the final portion of the routine, the part they had practiced in secret. With a calm breath, Emma unfastens her safety harness, trusting completely in Storm's ability to keep her safe. The silence that follows is palpable. Without hesitation, Storm rears up on his hind legs, reaching toward the sky. Emma stays centered, her balance perfect as she remains atop him. The crowd gasps in astonishment, cameras flashing frantically. But for Emma and Storm, it's as if time slows down. In that moment, there is nothing but the two of them, horse and rider, connected in a way that words cannot describe. Their bond is unbreakable, and trust flows between them like a silent promise. The horse holds the position as the audience watches in awe, and Emma's heart swells with pride. This is more than just a performance. It's the realization of a dream that once seemed impossible. When Storm finally lowers his front legs back to the ground, Emma stays atop him, her eyes sparkling with triumph. As Storm and Emma finish the final part of their performance, they move into a slow canter around the arena. Emma's heart races, but she is no longer afraid. The energy between her and Storm is palpable. She feels completely in tune with him. The audience erupts into applause as they cross the finish line, a standing ovation ringing in their ears. Emma, her face glowing with happiness, gently guides Storm to a stop at the center of the arena. The crowd continues to cheer, their admiration and awe filling the air. But for Emma, the most important thing is not the applause. It's the bond she shares with Storm. It's the connection they've built through trust, dedication, and love. This is the moment they've both worked for. Together, they've defied the odds and proven that anything is possible. As Emma dismounts, she's greeted by Richard, Martha, and a crowd of admirers. But before she can say anything, Storm steps forward, gently nudging her shoulder as if to remind her that their journey isn't over. Emma hugs his neck, her face tear-streaked with emotion. This moment, this miracle, is theirs. For the first time in a long time, Emma feels like the person she once was. But more importantly, she feels like the person she's always been capable of becoming. A woman who has overcome the darkest of times to find strength and beauty in the most unexpected places. The bond between Emma and Storm is unbreakable. The showcase is just the beginning of their journey. A journey that will continue to inspire others to trust, believe, and never give up on themselves. After the grand showcase, Emma and Storm quickly become symbols of hope and inspiration. Their story, once a quiet journey, now spreads like wildfire, touching the hearts of people everywhere. News outlets feature their performance, and social media explodes with admiration for the duo. Emma's journey from tragedy to triumph becomes a powerful narrative, a story of resilience, trust, and the incredible bond between human and animal. But it's not just about the spotlight or the applause. Emma knows that the real victory lies in the ripple effect her story creates. She begins to hear from people who have faced their own struggles. People who, like her, have been told they are too broken or too weak to overcome their obstacles. They reach out to her, sharing their stories of pain and hope. Emma's heart swells with pride as she realizes the true impact she's having. She's not just changing her own life, she's inspiring others to find their strength. Determined to do more, Emma decides to start a foundation dedicated to empowering people with disabilities through horseback riding. She calls it Reigniting Hope, a tribute to the trust she and Storm have built together. The foundation's mission is simple: to offer individuals the opportunity to experience the freedom and joy that horseback riding can bring, regardless of their physical limitations. With Storm by her side, Emma visits local communities, sharing her story and teaching others about the transformative power of horses. The bond she shares with Storm becomes a living example of how belief in oneself and trust in others can lead to miracles. Emma's message is clear. No matter what life throws at you, you are capable of more than you ever imagined. As Emma's foundation grows, so does the impact of her work. More and more people with disabilities sign up for horseback riding lessons, and the transformation is undeniable. For many, riding isn't just about learning a skill. It's about rediscovering a sense of purpose and freedom. Emma's work helps them realize that they are not defined by their disabilities, but by their resilience and their will to overcome. The Foundation's work also shifts the perception of people with disabilities. Emma, through her unwavering determination and courage, helps break the stereotype that people with physical challenges are incapable of achieving great things. She becomes a living testament to the fact that no dream is too big and no challenge too great to overcome. In time, Emma's foundation grows into a community, a network of individuals who support one another in their journeys. The participants in her program bond with each other, sharing their struggles and victories. Together, they form a tight-knit group that encourages each other to keep going, no matter how difficult the road may seem. Emma and Storm continue to be at the heart of this movement, serving as constant reminders of the power of perseverance. The once quiet farm where Emma and Storm trained becomes a sanctuary, not just for Emma, but for everyone who walks through its gates. It becomes a place where individuals, regardless of their past, can come to heal, grow, and reclaim their strength. The impact of Emma's work extends far beyond her immediate community. Her story touches the lives of people across the world, inspiring them to push beyond their limits and reach for the impossible. In schools, hospitals, and rehabilitation centers, Emma's message of hope and empowerment resonates deeply. She speaks at events, sharing her story with audiences of all ages and backgrounds, always reminding them that they, too, have the strength to rise above their circumstances. Her foundation continues to expand, offering scholarships for those who wish to pursue horseback riding and providing support to families affected by disabilities. Emma's legacy is now one of empowerment, a legacy that proves that every challenge is an opportunity for growth, and that through trust, dedication, and a willingness to believe in the impossible, we can change the world. Looking back on her journey, Emma feels a sense of peace. She's come a long way from the hospital bed, from the young woman who once thought her life was over. With Storm by her side, she has not only found healing for herself, but has also become a source of healing for others. She's learned that the strength to overcome any challenge lies not in physical ability, but in the heart's capacity to hope, to trust, and to never give up. As Emma stands next to Storm, watching a group of riders with disabilities take their first steps toward healing, she smiles. The journey was long, but every step was worth it. The ripple of change has only just begun, and Emma knows that together with Storm, they will continue to empower others, one person at a time. As the years pass, Emma and Storm's bond only grows stronger. What once started as a desperate attempt to regain control of her life has transformed into a mission to change the lives of others. Emma's foundation, Reigniting Hope, now operates on a much larger scale, and her story continues to inspire people around the world. She's no longer just a survivor. She's a beacon of possibility, a living testament to the strength of the human spirit and the transformative power of trust. Emma has built an incredible team around her, all of whom share her passion for helping others. With their help, the foundation has expanded its reach, offering horseback riding programs to more and more individuals, including veterans, children, and those recovering from various physical and emotional challenges. The healing power of horses, combined with Emma's unwavering belief in the potential of every individual, has sparked a movement. Beyond just providing lessons, Emma's foundation begins offering mentorship and career training for individuals with disabilities who wish to pursue careers in equestrian fields. She creates job opportunities within the organization, from therapeutic riding instructors to barn managers, showing that the possibilities for people with disabilities are limitless. Emma often speaks of her own journey, emphasizing that, with the right support and opportunities, anyone can achieve greatness, no matter the challenges they face. Storm continues to play a vital role in the Foundation's programs. He's not just a horse. He's a symbol of everything Emma believes in. He's become a therapy horse for many, offering comfort and encouragement to those who are struggling. His presence brings calm to the nervous, joy to the fearful, and strength to the brokenhearted. The impact Emma and Storm have had on the people who come to Reigniting Hope is immeasurable. For some, the Foundation has been the key to finding their strength after losing it. For others, it has been the first step toward a brighter future. The transformation is visible in every rider who overcomes their fear, every person who leaves the barn with a newfound sense of confidence, and every tear shed in moments of breakthrough. One particular story stands out: Sarah, a young woman with cerebral palsy, who had always dreamed of horseback riding but was told it was impossible. When Sarah first arrived at the Foundation, she was uncertain, afraid of being rejected. But Emma, with her open heart and understanding, welcomed her with open arms. Slowly, over time, Sarah began to trust not only the horses, but herself. She learned to ride, and in doing so, she discovered that the impossible was possible. Today, Sarah is a riding instructor at Reigniting Hope, teaching others the lessons she learned from Emma and Storm. Emma's story, now shared across schools, hospitals, and even social media platforms, continues to inspire the next generation of young people. The Foundation's outreach programs visit schools across the country, spreading the message of resilience, hope, and the power of teamwork. Emma and Storm's example shows kids that no matter what obstacles they face in life, they have the power to overcome them and achieve their dreams. The Foundation also partners with hospitals and rehabilitation centers, bringing horses and therapeutic programs to patients in need of emotional healing. The children and adults who participate in these programs often leave with more than just physical strength. They leave with a renewed sense of purpose and a belief in their own worth. Standing at the front of the barn, watching riders working alongside their horses, Emma feels a deep sense of fulfillment. She has come a long way from the girl who once thought she'd never walk again, from the woman who wondered if her life would ever have meaning. Now, she sees people whose lives are being changed every day through the very work she started. As she looks over at Storm, Emma reflects on the bond they share, one that has become the foundation of her life's work. They've given each other strength, and in doing so, have helped countless others find their own. Together, they've proven that no matter the circumstances, healing is always possible when you have the courage to trust, to believe, and to take that first step towards something greater. The journey Emma started all those years ago is far from over. Her foundation continues to grow, changing lives and inspiring others to do the same. She has created a legacy of hope, a legacy that will live on long after she and Storm have retired from their roles. As she heads into the future, Emma knows that there will always be new challenges to face, new lives to touch, and more individuals to empower. And with Storm by her side, there is no limit to what they can accomplish. This new chapter, filled with purpose, passion, and the power of belief, is just the beginning. Together, Emma and Storm have not just rebuilt one life. They've ignited a spark that will change the lives of many for generations to come. The story of Emma and Storm is a reminder that with love, trust, and determination, anything is possible. And, in the end, they've shown the world that every new beginning is an opportunity to change lives. As Emma and Storm stand together on the rolling fields, the sun setting on the horizon, it's clear that their journey is far from over. What began as a moment of uncertainty, pain, and limitation has blossomed into something far greater than either of them could have imagined. The life Emma thought was shattered has been rebuilt, not only for herself but for countless others who have found hope through her journey. Every step, every stride, and every small victory has been a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the bond that can be formed between a person and an animal. But Emma knows that this is only one chapter of a much larger story. The world is full of those still struggling, still searching for their own path to healing and hope. Her work is far from complete. Emma's foundation, Reigniting Hope, is just beginning to reach its full potential. With each passing day, more individuals come through the doors seeking not just healing but a transformation in their lives. Emma has become a symbol of what's possible when people are willing to push past their limitations and embrace the power of trust, connection, and perseverance. She knows that there will always be new challenges, new lives to touch, and new journeys to embark on. Her bond with Storm will always be the heart of her mission. Together, they are a living example of the magic that happens when you trust in something greater than yourself. With every lesson taught, every tear wiped away, and every person who finds their strength through the horses, Emma's story continues to inspire, showing that even in the most difficult of circumstances, hope is never truly lost. As Emma stands at the threshold of the next chapter, she reflects on how far she's come. From the dark days in the hospital room to the moments of doubt and fear, she has emerged stronger than ever, not just for herself, but for everyone she's touched along the way. Her journey is a reminder that even in the face of tragedy, there is always room for healing, growth, and transformation. With Storm by her side and a community of supporters and riders behind her, Emma knows that together, they will continue to change lives. The work they've started will ripple out, touching hearts and opening doors for those who need it most. Her message is clear. No matter where you start, no matter what challenges you face, you have the power to rewrite your story. In the end, the journey that began with a single step has blossomed into something far greater than Emma could have dreamed. And as she looks forward, she knows this is just the beginning. The lives they've changed, the hope they've sparked, and the trust they've built will continue to grow one person at a time. Emma and Storm's legacy is more than just about horses or healing. It's about the unbreakable spirit of those who dare to dream, to rise, and to believe in the impossible. Their story is far from over, and the journey will continue. One life, one story, one miracle at a time.